Excuse me, that's not very polite. So as far as progress goes, let's see, what's today's date? This is just a list of some of the issues that I've been working through. You can see my screen, right?
Yes.
Let me get back up here a little bit. Let's see, where should I start? I'll start here on the 20th. I mean, in no particular order, I just had command velocity, steering not working. Let's see. Oh, I just had to, I use parameter settings and basically had to go in and reset my parameters to give more power to the transmission effectively. So to move the arm a little bit further to get more power, because it had been a while and I had old incorrect settings in the parameters. So I had to basically, I don't know why, it was basically a version control problem on my parameters. So I fixed that and got it working. And then RVIZ not appearing correctly. That's been an issue for a week or so. And fast forward, part of the manifestation of that was in this launch file, there is reference to this DAE file, which is, let's just call it a 3D drawing of a lawn tractor. This physical file resides on my RPi. This launch file as well resides on, let me see if I get this right. Let's see, do I launch that? That launch is, yeah, that is launched on the RPi. And then RVIZ is started from the Ubuntu laptop. And when RVIZ tries to load the robot description referencing that DAE file, it throws up an error and says it can't find this package. And so, to make a long story short, I tried multiple ways to fix that, but never found a way to make that work. Previously, I had that package loaded on the laptop too, but I didn't actually want to go that route because it just felt like it was really not the right way to solve that problem. And so ultimately, although I'm going to scroll forward here a little bit and it'll show like, this is the actual error message that it triggered, could not load that resource, can't find that package. What ultimately, and this was me just saying, hey, what if I reference it specifically instead of saying, like, try to find it? That didn't work. I just changed the URDF to represent the tractor or the robot description as a box instead of a DAE file. And that worked. So at the moment, I am able to get RVIZ up and running on my Ubuntu laptop and show the robot as a blue box, because I've updated the URDF that instead of, let's see if I have the actual, instead of something like this in there, I have, I don't know if I actually have the statement in here that I put in there. It doesn't look like I put it on here. I just say, hey, make the robot draw a blue box with the white dot on top is the GPS. And so then I was checking out the starting and ending position and doing a little bit of testing, moving the GPS around. And then the GPS was moving a little bit, and I decided that that was probably because of deflection, that I had the GPS antenna too close to the house. And I was trying to get Plot Juggler to, you can't really tell it, but this is the GPS status, and the deflection occurs when the GPS status drops from 2 to 0. Then let's see, this was something about, what was that about? I was having some issue with that. I'm not remembering what issue that was about. Oh, I couldn't get that. Oh, I was trying to do an update, and darn, the simple update wasn't, it was failing, and it was failing on this package. So I had to do some gyrations to get that package to update. Let's see, a little bit more testing. And I was just making a note to myself about when I get back to testing, what I wanted to try to get to do a 2D nav goal. So yeah, a little bit closer to doing a 2D nav goal, but still not there, but a little bit of progress. But I mean, what you've done with the URDF and Gazebo and RVIZ and not using this whole simulator thing is interesting, because I'm still, stuck on, using that. That's where I'm at.
Okay, I'll see if I can share my screen here. We'll see how this goes today. This is back on my Linux machine that acts differently than my Windows machine, so I'll try this and see what it does. So select window, entire screen, allow. I'll give it a second to catch up here. Okay, so on what I'll show here on the upper left window here, this is the window that starts. Gazebo loads the model. It has a Python script that publishes the odometry, and it has the Python script that's what they call the Ackermann controller. So you send it an Ackermann message, and it generates all the states for Gazebo to make the thing move around. So basically, that's this window up here is my black box that is my simulator. So this is what you would swap out if you had a real vehicle. Then I'd start a different set of things and talk to the real vehicle instead. So then down here, I've got, let's mouse. So this window down here is, it wouldn't be quite that wide. So this window down here, I can either run one of two different joystick programs. One generates a command velocity, and then I use the TEB translator to convert that to an Ackermann. And I don't really like the way that one works, but that's the way TEB's going to do it internally. So I can run it that way, or I can run a second joystick program that actually generates Ackermann commands directly. And I'll show you what the difference is between those. Or I can start up a move base without TEB planner that doesn't work very well. In fact, it's unusable. And then I go another launch file that will start move base with TEB planner. So I'll show you those. And then the window over here is just RVIZ, just to display everything. And I just got a bunch of stuff turned on to see what's going on. And while I'm right here, here's my, this window is just displaying my frames, and they're just standard. They look right. So I've got map, ODOM, base footprint, and base link, and then everything down below here. All the stuff on the right is all my sensors on the vehicle, and then everything on the left is here's my wheels. So here's the left front wheel, and then it's got the steering joint for that, and then over here is the right front wheel, and there's a steering joint for that, and then just here's the one back wheel, and then the other back wheel. So it's just showing me what's going on there, and all that seems to be working.
It's beautiful.
It just looks like it's supposed to. So I just wanted to point that out. And so we'll go back here and we'll start up the black box Gazebo. So here is my vehicle in Gazebo. This is originally I couldn't get the worlds. I couldn't load a different world because my robot would explode. But I found that after all these little small iterative changes, I can now load a world. This was called something about ROS world something. I don't know if it's from a competition or whatever, but if you look at it, it's just a round circular thing. It's kind of like an arena, like you'd see in Doom or something, where you go battle in the arena. So it's just got these three little boxes around the corner. Mainly, I think it's got that so the laser can, if you have a laser scanner, you could localize on that and know, because see, this side doesn't have one of those boxes. So it makes it unique by doing that. So anyway, that's just my world for that. So let me make this smaller. Drag this over here. And it'd be nice if I could have it start up the way I want, but I haven't figured out how to do that yet. So put that over here. And then, and keep in mind, you wouldn't have to display this screen at all. In fact, you can actually start this up where it doesn't put anything on the screen. But, for what I'm doing, I want to see what it's actually doing. So we will now go in. In fact, I think I want to make it bigger anyway. Here, let's do this. Yeah, that works. Okay, so we'll come down here to this one, and I'll start up the joystick program that uses this one, I believe, just Joy Launch. It starts up a Joy node. It starts up a joystick teleop program that generates a command velocity, and then it starts up that translator from the TEB package that converts that into an Ackermann message. So if I start that up, and then it says down here, it's listening to command velocity. It's published on Ackermann command, and it says here's my wheelbase listed because it needs that for the calculation, and it's publishing in frame ODOM, and I'm not sure. I don't know how that works in, but that's what it's doing. So we'll come back and look at this here. And if I zoom in on the vehicle here and rotate around so we can see it.
So it's going to listen to command velocity and convert that to an Ackermann message.
Yes, it is. So let's see if this is working here. This one, I think I have to push this button and then move forward. Yeah, okay. So what happens if I move it left and right, move the joystick to the right, it does nothing. Move it to the left, it does nothing. Well, if I'm not moving, it does nothing. It's that little tiny joystick there. I'm clear to the left and see that the wheels aren't turning, and there's clear to the right and the wheels aren't turning. But if I start moving forward and then move it, then the wheels will actually do what they're supposed to. And I also noticed that the way this is set up, this does not have a sharper turning angle as the next one I'm going to show you, but it is fully drivable at this point. Occasionally the front wheels will wobble around a little bit. Not as bad as it did originally when it started out. So I'll just come back to the
Why do you think that is?
I haven't tracked that down. Like originally, one of the problems was I think I was putting in too big a number for the steering angle because there was no limits on it, and it showed up. It especially showed up in the move base planner where it was putting out numbers, and it thought it was a differential drive vehicle, so it's putting out really bizarre numbers. So I went into that Ackermann converter script, and as soon as I received the Ackermann message, I clipped the steering to plus and minus, I think it plus and minus 0.5, which is like 30 degrees, which is what my vehicle will do. And that calmed down a lot of that, but it still will randomly do some funny things. I don't know if it's part of the translator or what's doing that. So anyway, that's the way, that's the characteristic you'll see there. If it when it drives around, the steering doesn't work unless you're moving forward. But that's just the way that has to be. So I'll come back here and kill that. And then
That's
start up.
fantastic. Yeah.
And then start up here. I'll just do this. Joy op. This is the one that puts out an Ackermann command directly. So it's saying there it's putting out a speed and a steering angle. So now if we come back here and look at it, now without moving at all, if I just move this back and forth, say I move it to the left and it turns, well, that's again. So I can move it to the left and it turns. I can move it to the right and it turns, even without the vehicle moving. So it's
You have a joystick that you're moving? Is that what you're moving?
yeah, it's one of these things, the little gamepad. So it's just the standard. It's the modern Joy node that talks to a joystick. So if I come back here to the middle, well, anyway, I'll just go to this one can turn sharper than the other one. So this one, I think it's running faster, driving faster too. So this one's quite maneuverable. It works quite well. I don't recall seeing it doing anything really stupid while he's driving around. So I'll just come back here. This one doesn't have the dead man switch. The other joystick program does. And then this also uses the right joystick instead of the left one, but that's all configurable somewhere. So I can go fix that. So I'll come back to the beginning here. And so that simply drives around and works. Before I go any farther, let me say, let's say, oh, I closed that window, didn't I? How do I get that back? We're going to do this. I was going to put some obstacles in here so we can see. There we go. So now I'll make it bigger. Let's say insert. And I'll put a dumpster out here somewhere. And put a couple fire hydrants in there. This isn't really necessary, but I'm going to do it anyway. And I'll tell you as we move on here, I'll tell you why I'm doing this. So there's my world right there. And so far I haven't shown anything in RVIZ. Well, I'll just leave that thing on the left just because. So now this window down here will start up. Let's see. I'll have to kill this one. So let's do that. Let's kill the joystick. And then I'll show you what doesn't work. And this will probably screw up everything. So I might have to restart everything anyway. So this is one that just moved base without the tab planner. And now in order to use this, I have to have RVIZ. So I'll start up RVIZ. So there's my RVIZ. And you can see here's in the scan here, here's the dumpster sitting here. Here's the one fire hydrant. There's another fire hydrant. And then out here in the distance, you can see the wall that comes around. So you can see this right here is actually over here on this one. That's this one over here. So anyway, you can see what's going on there. So if I say, let's see, how do I do this? I go here and say, I just say I want to move from here, from where I'm at to here. And it starts out, looks like it's working good. Now, eventually you'll see the wheels will start banging back and forth here. There, they're doing that. And then what happens is they'll drive along and all of a sudden it starts moving sideways. But if you go watch it in the in Gazebo over here, in Gazebo, it's not actually doing that. So that's so it's something in RVIZ is not working right. So that didn't do too bad there. But if I go, say, over to here, see if I can get it to do it. Well, now it's totally ignoring me. There it goes. And again, if you watch on Gazebo, see Gazebo's got a nice path, but there it jumped. It's see the robot jumps, it's jumping to the right, and it's not supposed to do that. So I don't know if that's a transform message that's making it do that. But what's inconvenient, I say I put my goal right on top of a fire hydrant there. So we'll see what happens here. And this green box is the footprint. I didn't correct that. I didn't make that bigger. So I think I just banged into the I just banged into the fire hydrant there. So it's done. So it's stopped at this point. So I think I'm probably going to have to restart everything. Let's just see if I can kill. Let's see, go here, go here. So I'll see if I can recover by just starting up the move base with Ted Planner now. So if I now say I want to back up to this point, now it looks like we're going to recover. No. See, my model is stuck, but my footprint is moving. So I'm going to have to restart everything here. So it'll take 2 minutes here to do that. So I'll do that. Close without saving. That killed that one, killed that one. I like to kill this one ahead of time just because it goes down quicker. So the bottom line is that it doesn't work in move base without Ted Planner, but then again, it thinks it's a differential drive, and I haven't tweaked any parameters. I just moved on to Ted Planner, and that seemed to be working. So that's the one. That's the one I was spending my time on. So I'll start this back up again.
Looks like huge progress.
So I get this back. Let's put some stuff in there again. Put the dumpster in here. And put a couple fire hydrants again, just because I can. Uh-oh, I might have clicked on gas station. We might have a problem here. So if I click on gas station, I'll get that big big map. It's got a convenience store and gas pumps and all that stuff. So anyway, let's close that down. And then make this smaller. So it's gonna look like this when we get going here. Close that. And then come here and start up the Ted Planner.
But you're basically showing the collision avoidance or the path planning is
No, the path planning is the main thing. I think
fragile.
last night or today I put obstacles in there. I think it was just this morning I put obstacles. It turns out it does see them and we'll try to avoid them, except that I haven't made my footprint large enough to actually work. So we'll go back here and say, where's my other? I can't see their fire. The other fire hydrant's back here behind the laser scan. I was going to say I could turn on the laser scan, but I have to restart the whole thing. So anyway, here's Ted Planner. And if I just say, I want to drive to this point, see the green line is the local plan, and it makes a nice smooth path over there. It drives to where it's supposed to.
Yeah, that was great.
And then if we do, yeah, what annoys me the most is if I say go here, it's probably going to back up the entire distance to get there. I was going to back up most of the way. So there's probably a number in the tab planner I can say, don't back up so much, make it add more penalty to backing up, and then it won't do such wild things. But see, it does indeed. It has to do a little positioning to get where it's supposed to, because the base link is here in the back. Come on. So now I got zoomed in, it quit. So we'll say we want to drive. Let's say drive over here somewhere. So if you watch the thing, see the base link is actually right in the back between the two back wheels. So that's the one that's trying to stay on the path as it drives. And now watch when it gets right about here, then it'll bow out like this to align it. So it's going to come into the point at the right direction. And this is just simply some configuration files. One of the web pages I found, the guy said, here's a tab tutorial. And I just copied his configuration files and dumped in here. And I was thinking about just taking the ones from Lawn Tractor, but I didn't know how accurate those were or anything else. So I didn't do that. So let's try what I found out when I was playing with it this morning. So here's the dumpster. And if I say go to a position on the other side of the dumpster here, and see it's heading right for the dumpster here. Oh, I don't have that. See, but see, it says, oh, I can't go that way. So now it's driving around the thing. And there's my local cost map turned on. So the laser scanner is running, and see it's driving around. I might clip the edge of it there. We'll see. Because again, that green box is telling me that's where it thinks the outline of the robot is, and it's not actually there.
That was fantastic.
So I was surprised that works. And the whole point is I'm not trying to prove the tab planner works or optimize the tab planner. I just simply needed something to drive my vehicle to show that it's actually working, so I can test that it's actually working. So if I use that joystick program that publishes Ackermann directly, that works great for driving around. And this is the tab planner. And I can do, on the tab planner, I can do one of two things. And I'm not sure which one I'm running right now. Let's see, how can I figure that out? If I go look at this one, I don't remember if I'm running that converter or not. So it says mod command velocity to Ackermann pi. So I've got my flag set to true that says use angle instead of rotational velocity in tab planner. So it's putting out the modified command velocity message like you were doing. And then this Python script I wrote just simply subscribes to command velocity, pulls the two values out, sticks them into an Ackermann message, and republishes it. So this is actually letting tab planner generate a forward velocity and a steering angle. And then I do the conversion to Ackermann here. And I can do it the other way. I can say, don't convert it to a steering angle. So it'll put out an actual command velocity with rotational velocity. And then I'd have to fire up that little translator that they gave me. And that would also work. So I got various ways to do this. So essentially I can drive my vehicle either from command velocity or from Ackermann command at this point. Natively, it wants to see Ackermann command coming in. So while I got this up here, you always said, well, do, uh-oh, oh, here we go. You always said, oh, do a goal. What would you want to see it do here before?
Well, you've just done 6 of them. You did a 2D nav goal. That's that's the holy grail for me.
And then, since everybody wants to go straight, we'll say go over here. Well, first of all, let's line it up somewhere. We'll say, we'll go down here. We're going to go down here and line it up. So we'll say drive down there, pointed that direction. Then when we're done, we'll drive across a straight line there. There's actually like 3 different paths being shown here. There's a blue line and there's a brown line that alternate back and forth. I don't know. Maybe it's the publish rate is why it's doing that. And the green line is the local planner. So that's the path it's actually going to try to drive on. And see, that's what it's doing. It makes that path. It's going to try to get itself centered on this line, and then it'll. So once it gets on that line, it'll do a fairly straight line down to where I told it to go. Now, keep in mind, there's a fire hydrant out there somewhere. Oh, it's right there. I see. I just missed that fire hydrant. So the question is this one going to be in the way? So we'll see. No, it's not going to be in the way because it's down beyond here. And I see my speed is running awfully slow. I'm having problems with Python, trying to pass parameters. It says the number is you should go this fast, but then when I look at it, if I publish a command, an Ackermann command right now, it says it's going like 0.2 of a meter per second, even though I told it to go faster than that. So there's something with I have to figure out that stuff. So you can see it's coming down here now. It's going to back up and back into the position to be at the angle I wanted. So I still might hit that fire hydrant. And if I do, it's all over. And oh, I think I hit it.
Bummer.
So if we look at it, yeah. So I'm up against the fire hydrant right there. So that one's done. But anyway, if I say draw a straight line across, it goes relatively straight, but for some reason, that might actually be worth seeing. So let's do that. Let's do that without all the obstacles. Oh, it recovered.
Did you stop it?
No, I think it timed out and did some kind of recovery behavior. So anyway, it's at the point that I wanted it at now, and there's no obstacles in the way. So what I would do, I'm going to tell it to go over here down a straight line. So anything else we need to know here? Let's turn the. Well, I don't need global cost map because we don't have any obstacles. Oh, we do still have obstacles. So let me turn that on just so we can see if anything gets in the way. So I'll say 2D nav goal. We'll drive straight across the screen to this point. Now, as it drives, see, it says drive in a straight line, but if you watch it, it's not really on. It's not necessarily on the line. These things keep moving up and down. I don't know why it's doing that. That's what it wants to do. So, but that's more stuff. If I'd go tweak on Tab Planner, I might be able to get it to do better, more fun things. So at this point, I need to oh, there. See, for some reason, it was going to go up like that, but it's still, see right there, there's a little bump in the path right there that's not supposed to be there. Or I would prefer not to have it there if I was driving in a straight line. And it did it again right there, so it may do something funny. But see, yeah, it goes to where you tell it. And this is without, I didn't do a lot of tweaking on the parameters to make it do this. And the other thing was, so yesterday I thought, well, what do I do now? Should I go play with the Tab Planner? I thought, no, I should just go back to my vehicle and work on that and try to get that to the point where it's usable. And so if anybody wants to use it, they could just, start off and measure their vehicle, put the numbers in, and then have something that would drive around. So that I went back to that thought, and I was looking at that last night. So I got.
Well, I want to use it.
I got about part way through it, and it's enough of a mess. It's going to take me a while to figure out what to do there. So that's where I'm at right now. And I guess I'll shut her down. And it also has the map from the ROS agriculture farm map in it. So it's your field that's in it for the polygon. And I didn't zoom out far enough here where you can see that, but that's what's in there, and it's not doing anything with it. I could just put an empty map in there instead. And let's just go down. Now here's the problem I had before, where in my Linux, I don't know how to close this. Let me see. How can I get my? Okay, this
because it's noetic as well, right? You're running noetic.
Yes, I am. And I don't know how much it depends on noetic, but that's what I'm running. So up here it says, what's this button do? Your screen sharing. Yeah, I know. How do I kill it? So anyway, this is the problem I had last time. I couldn't figure out how to stop the screen sharing. If it was a new share, says select window, remember selection. What's they block? No, it says is preventing access to your share screen. Well, yeah. Oh, yeah, I just told them to block it. Oh, so anyway, so I'll just do, this is what I did last time. I just killed it. So this will go away. There, now I should be back to, now I'm back to my Windows computer. So
No screen sharing.
that's good, because I just killed that computer. So it's, so we're back to normal now.
Wow, I'm very impressed.
Oh, do you have any questions on any of that stuff?
Yeah. Um, like, can you share your URDF? I mean, to start with.
I could, but I don't know that anybody wants to mess with it in the state that it's in. Right now, if you wanted to change, well, now I just turned that computer off. I can't show you. It's like a 700 line long file is the URDF file. And you got to go through and you got to poke at it, and you got to find the wheels, and you got to change the diameter of each wheel separately and change the width of each wheel separately. And you have to
I
move
like
the
that.
position of them around separately. And then if I go to the next step and get the macro put in at the top, where you just say back wheel diameter is this, then it automatically plugs into the code. And you say front wheel diameter is this, it plugs out in the code. And you got chassis height, chassis width, chassis length, and so forth. So that way, if I get at that point, and then you just go in and change the numbers, you measure your vehicle and you punch them in one spot, and that mostly fixes it. There's also a configuration file where it's got the 4 wheel diameters in there. And it would be nice to figure out how to get that to automatically, so you specify it one time and it plugs it in everywhere. But that's several more steps down the line to do that.
Yeah, I confess I'm the whole exact row thing. It would be helpful for me to see it individually as opposed to in the exact row, because I'm not, I don't think I've fully comprehended how the whole exact row thing is working yet. But if you don't want to, I mean, I get it if you don't want to let loose of your baby yet, but I would be very willing to take a look at the 700 line file.
And basically, I made sure I saved a copy of it this time before I moved on to anything else. So I've got the copy that you're just watching. It is running. And instead of hacking that one, because if I started hacking that one, I would have had nothing that works. So I've got that one that technically will work. And I was trying to think of how much screwing around it would take. In order to publish it, I have to trim everything down, because I've just been dumping everything in one directory. So I need to eventually think about that too, how to organize this stuff out to the point where it makes more sense. And then I don't know, maybe I'll put it out on a GitHub, and disable it so people can't be sending me pull requests and saying they got problems with it. And you say, here's the code as is. I might take that approach to it, so that'd probably be the easiest way, because then you could just go there and click on it, say clone it, and put the whole thing on your computer. And theoretically, if you've got a noetic installed, then theoretically you can install that and it should run without any major problems.
Cool.
And you sent me some numbers for your thing. You sent me well, I'm not going to go find it right now, but you told me your wheel diameters and your width of your tires, and the I already had where your GPS was located. And later you said, oh, well, one of those numbers was wrong or something. So basically, I running the old stuff, I took your numbers and put it in the stuff I was playing with originally, and I had something that had the right dimensions for your vehicle when I was driving that around. Then I moved on to this whole new thing where I basically started over from scratch. So and the first one I started with, it was even a bigger mess, is trying to find where to put all the numbers in, and I had no idea what a lot of the stuff was at that point. So I'm making progress on it, and hopefully I can get to the point where I can say, okay, this one is something I understand and something I can answer questions on if somebody can't get it to work. And it turns out that radio control car thing, you can make it work if you put enough effort into it. But I moved away from that, and now what I'm doing with putting the Zacro stuff back in, all the properties up front, essentially I'm going to work back basically the same way that one worked. So I'm actually cutting chunks of code out of that and drop it into my new one, and then I'll get all the stuff put together and then figure out why it doesn't work, and then work through a step at a time to get it to work again. So hopefully I can get that get that to do something.
Yeah, that's the box size that I used. So let's see if this copies over.
That's the box size you're putting in RVIZ. Is that what you're talking about?
No, it's the box size that I put in the URDF.
Put it in for what?
For my tractor. Meaning, so that was so if I were doing the, what do you call it? The inflation? Is it the physical?
The footprint.
Yeah.
Well, it turns out the footprint doesn't go in your URDF. The footprint goes in your planner, I believe is where that goes. So that I think you're talking about two different things here.
Well, in the URDF, I wanted to see something in RVIZ, and so I needed to have something visual to show up in RVIZ, and so I put that in the URDF, and that's so. In order to get something to show up in RVIZ, I put that as a geometry tag in the URDF. Well,
what you can do is go in RVIZ and say display. In fact, if you pull down I've gotten to like this add by topic, which I didn't normally do. And somebody said, oh, that's the only stuff that shows up in add by topic is stuff that's already being published, so you don't have to guess at it. So you pull down the tab that says add, and you say add by topic, and go down under tab planner, and under local planner, it'll say something about footprint, and then pull that down, and it says geometry message. Just click on that, and that will display on RVIZ that green box that I've just shown you, and that is defined in somewhere in your tab planner under, I think, local cost map parameters is where you put that in. So there you draw an outline around your vehicle, and then just magically shows up all the way through RVIZ, and you'll see that green rectangle on your RVIZ when you drive around.
And it uses that when it's planning.
That's the number that's using for the planner, yes. That's the number you told it in the local cost map parameters. You say, this is how big my vehicle is. So regardless of what else is on your vehicle, that is the rectangle or the polygon that's using to do its planning. So that's the one, if you get close to something, that it's trying to keep that from banging into things. So that is exactly what you want.
And so you may have already answered this, but you don't think if I'm using a geometry tag in the URDF, it's not going to use that in the planner?
No, it's not.
Interesting.
I think the geometry tag is just simply saying, actually, I don't know what that does. There's one's called visual, one that's called collision, and one that's called inertia. And then within that, there is something called geometry. I think that's when you say geometry, create a box, but that's just simply adding, in your case, you're just going to add a box that shows up on the screen, but it's not, that has nothing to do with most of the stuff, I don't think.
Interesting.
That's two different concepts, I think.
So it was add topic. And then a tab planner.
You say add, and then you say add by topic. And then under, if you scroll down to where it says tab local planner, it's got a bunch of stuff under that. So go down to the one that says under local planner, go down to where it says, or excuse me, under tab planner, scroll down to where it says local, I think it might say local cost map, and you pull that down, and under that it'll say, I think it says base footprint or local footprint or something. And you pull it down one more level and it will say geometry, or no, it'll say, I think it says polygon. So you just click on that and that automatically adds it and sets the topic and everything. So it's at that point, then you're ready to go. Local planner. On your thing you just posted there, you say add by topic, and then tab planner. Let's see, local planner, add by topic. Let's see. Wait, let me see how long it takes to fire this thing back up here. This one. Fire up this one. This one. And fire up this one. I'll just, what's it complaining about now? Terminal. Of course, now that's broken. Part of the problem is my joystick doesn't. When I fire it up, for some reason, it thinks I'm telling it to go backwards. And if I run it a second time, it seems to fix it. So let me try this again. I'll let them come up one at a time this time instead of trying to do everything at once. I did that. Come down here and say start up the planner. Go down received, and now where did my RVIZ screen just go? Oh, I deleted it. New window. RVIZ. Okay, so if I go, here's the steps. You click on add, and then you click on the by topic tab. And I go down to where it says move base. And under move base, it says tab local planner ROS. And then under that, it says what's the last thing I said? Tab local planner.
Something ROS.
So then, yeah, tab local planner ROS, and then no, I guess it has nothing to do with tab local planner ROS. So we're still under move base, and you go down. There's one that says local cost map, and under local cost map, it says footprint, and under footprint it says polygon. You click on that, and that will bring that up. So does that make any sense?
Mm-hmm.
And it makes more sense if you pull up RVIZ and start poking at it. You can see. So it's the thing called, so under move base, and yours is probably going to say move base flex, but under that it's going to say local cost map, and under local cost map there's one called footprint.
Cool.
Let's see, can I make this window bigger? And
Yeah, silly me. I thought that geometry tag in the URDF would be used.
That's a good assumption, but no, that's not what it does. There, I'll do a screen capture of this and then I'll post it to I'll post it to Slack Slack. So here, can I do that right now without wasting incredibly more time? Probably not, but okay, so I want that one, I want that one. Let's see. Crop. Do that. Actually, I can post that. Can you post pictures to chat, or does it have to go?
I don't think Zoom takes.
But here's what I'll do. I'll post it
Images.
to Slack, and then I can open it for the video. So let's see, save that as footprint. Footprint PG. Save. Go to Slack. How do we get to Slack? Go here. Go random. And then say to view. And say insert. This. Upload from computer. And say pictures. They call it footprint. Footprint PNG. I'm getting close. That's not it. There. Now, how do I do that? Say open. Say post. Come back over here to this computer. How do I get this one? Come on. I want this one. Okay. Let me say screen. This one. These. Okay, so here's what I had. So if you click on add, it brings up the selection. So it normally says display type, but if you click on by topic, then it lists all this stuff out. So you come down here where it says move base, and under move base is one called local cost map. And then you click on footprint, and there it says polygon. So if you click, then as soon as you click on polygon, it adds it and sets the topic, and you're all ready to go. And what that's doing is displaying the polygon you created in your, probably under tab parameters. There's one called local cost map parameters. And in there it says you either put in like a diameter or you put in a polygon to represent your vehicle. So if you got those numbers right, this is going to show you what that polygon looks like. So that's the area around your vehicle. It's telling the planner this is how big the vehicle is, and that's what it uses to do the actual planning. So does that make sense?
Does to me.
Okay, so I'll stop sharing, and now it's recorded on the video. So, and I wasted 5 or 10 minutes getting it, but there we go.
Others that follow will appreciate that.
Yeah, I see the meeting from last week. Nobody's even watched it, so we'll see how much interest there is in this. And then when we're done, I want to make some more comments when we're done and stop recording. So
You can stop recording.
yeah, I don't think I have anything else to say. You know, eventually I'll ask Bob how big, you know, give him the list of dimensions that I need for his tractor. We can make a tractor that looks like his, and eventually we can get Juan to specify his numbers, because his is going to be slightly different than yours. And then, you know, theoretically, once I get to the point where we can just plug numbers in, that should work, you know, but as a test, I'll get somebody else's numbers, and yeah, I can start with your numbers and create a vehicle that looks like yours and see how well it works. So
I think his will be. I think Juan's will be really similar to mine.
In general it is, but you know, it's going to be slightly different dimensions and probably slightly different tire sizes or something. And the GPS, his GPS is on the front hood of his, I think.
Mhm.
And mine, I've specified an IMU, but it's not, I'm not using it for anything. I think the IMU is incorrect. I either have to rotate it or flip it or something. Because what if I display that in RVIZ and I say drive forwards, I would expect that it's got this thing sticking up. Here's the vehicle right here. And when you start, I would expect if I'm going to go this way, I would expect the thing to, no, I expect it to do this. So that's your gravity vector. So as you start to accelerate this way, I expect it to go like that. And then when you stop accelerating, I expect to go like that. Mine's backwards from that. So I think I have to either do something to change the directions on that. But I'm not using it for anything in the code right now anyway. It's publishing it, but I don't know how accurate the thing is. So that's all I had to say there. So we'll end it here.